If you have the space and want to go big for TV and movies, then projectors are the only way to go. You can easily have a 100-inch plus screen size in your home for that ultra immersive experience. But up until now, despite that, the prospect of the setup process has been a barrier for many. However, today we take a look at the UHZ65UST from Optoma. It's an ultra short throw projector capable of giving you a 100-inch screen from just centimetres away from your wall, meaning that all of the normal challenges of setting up a projector, like running long cables, drilling holes for ceiling mounts, etc., all disappear. Optoma has also managed to add lots of features to make this projector really compete with the latest TVs too. In fact, this is one of the first projectors that we've seen that's actually meant to completely replace your TV rather than just complement it. First, we'll take a look at the projector itself and its features, and then we'll also have the opportunity to combine it with a 100-inch ALR fixed screen and compare that to using a normal ceiling mounted screen. So first up, let's take a look at the projector. As I mentioned, it's an ultra short throw and will produce a 120-inch image from just 36 centimetres away from your screen or wall. That means that this projector sits on your AV stand and doesn't require any mounting at all. It's been designed with that in mind too, offering sleek looks that will fit in nicely with other equipment. And the fabric finish on the front here is actually a built-in soundbar with Dolby Digital support and produces excellent audio. All of the main ports are on the back so that they can't be seen, so you get to keep that really clean, nice look with no need for super long cables. Speaking of ports, you get two HDMI 2.0 ports on the back and also one on the side, so that if you want to temporarily connect a device, you don't need to keep moving the projector. There's also a 1.5 amp USB port to power some devices like a Fire Stick or Chromecast, and there's also an optical port for surround sound and a 3.5mm stereo jack, plus an Ethernet for internet connectivity. And you can also use Wi-Fi as it's got that built in too. The remote control is nice and simple to use, and it's rechargeable too. It offers standard 4-way directions with a select in the middle. And on top of that, you can also use smart assistants from Amazon and Google for functions like turning on and off and adjusting the volume. There's even a feature that turns off the picture, but allows you to use the soundbar for just music over Bluetooth. Now, on to setup. The menu is really easy to use, and there's plenty of options available for fine-tuning the picture. One option we haven't seen before but really like is the warping feature, which sets up a grid on screen and allows you to play around to get your image as straight as possible. And it's absolutely needed with this projector due to the extreme short throw, highlighting any imperfections, even on a plastered wall. That does bring up one problem though, which is that this projector isn't going to work all that well with a traditional roll-down projector screen. With a long throw projector, any waves in your screen are usually invisible, but with an ultra short throw projector, they become clearly visible and just too much to be able to correct for. That means if this projector is the one you're considering, then you need to make sure that you have a nice flat wall or purchase a fixed frame screen. Lucky for us, we also have Optoma's high-end ALR screen for comparison. We'll cover off some more detail on that in just a minute. Lastly though, on the projector front, this is touted as a smart projector running on a version of the Android operating system. There are built-in apps for Netflix, Prime Video, Plex and a few others too. However, for us, we found that they didn't really make the most of the projector, only offering 1080p playback, and we would recommend that if you want the best, then you should invest in something like the Nvidia Shield TV. To be fair to Optoma though, it is likely that buyers of this projector will most likely already have a TV service like Sky Q or Virgin, offering loads of 4K content. Now, on to some testing. We tested this projector on a white wall, a white Optoma roll-down screen, and with the high-end ALR screen, so that we could see how it performed on each option. The UHZ65UST offers a 4K UHD resolution and 3,500 lumens of brightness via its laser light source running through the Texas Instruments DLP chip. That should make it good enough for lights on or daytime viewing, which will be really important if you want it to replace your TV completely. It should also allow this projector to offer some very good HDR visuals via its HDR and HDR10 compatibility. First up, and before comparing any of the screen options for their differences, we wanted to get across just how impressive this setup is. The picture is very bright for a home projector. Not as bright as some of the higher-end TVs available, but more than bright enough that unless you did a side-by-side comparison, you wouldn't really care. Even with all of the studio lights on, the picture was still bright enough for comfortable viewing. Likewise, the picture quality, especially in 4K, is absolutely stunning. Due to the huge screen size, you actually get to see much more of the picture detail than you would on an average-sized TV. Check out this shot of the new Top Gun trailer. We even move the camera closer in to show you just how much detail there is. It really is a treat for the eyes. We were using the NVIDIA Shield TV Pro for streaming content in 4K and also in 720p. In lower resolutions, it has an AI-powered upscaling feature, which meant that even at 100-inch, the picture clarity was superb, no matter what the source content. It's definitely recommended for increasing the quality of your streams and gets rid of any issues you would have had with Optoma's built-in services. We also tried some gaming to see how the UHZ65UST compared. Again, the picture clarity is just stunning. Red Dead Redemption never looked so good. We measured the latency at around 70 milliseconds when we turned everything off that we could, which is a bit on the high side when compared to some of the latest TVs. But at the same time, we found no issues in anything except the fastest games like competitive esports titles, and they aren't really the target market for this anyway. Even Battlefield 5 didn't really cause us any issues. And if you're playing on a console, you aren't really going to notice any issues at all. Now let's take a look at some side-by-side comparisons. We picked the three options that we think would be the ones most people would want to know about. First up, for existing projector users, there is the Optoma pull-down white screen. This has a gain of 1.0, so it's reflecting all of the light that hits it, which is great for achieving a bright picture. Unfortunately though, it's unusable with this projector. As with all roll-up screens, they're not completely flat. The closer that your projector sits to the screen, the more you're going to notice it. So with this one, it ruins the picture. Even the clever warp control can't make up for it. Next, we have a white plastered wall. This is nearly as good as the white screen for reflecting light, but it doesn't have the black bars to help with contrast, so darker scenes might not look quite as good. The type of paint can also make a difference to the picture too. On the flip side though, it's really easy to set up as there's nothing to mount, and you don't need to worry about lining the picture up with the borders. We also found that we did need to use a bit of warp control to correct the image, but depending on how flat your wall actually is, you might need more or less adjustment than we did. Last up, we have this. It's the ALR 101. It's a fixed frame screen. So you hang it on a wall and it has a special ambient light rejection material. This reflects light coming from below towards the viewer, but it rejects light coming from above. It means that switching on a light or having light coming in through a window should have less effects on the picture, and that less projector light will be reflected around your room, improving black levels. There is a caveat to this though. The screen has a gain of 0.6, so approximately 40% of the total light output's lost. What we expect to see then is a slightly dimmer picture, but one that has better blacks and is affected less by lighting. It's worth noting though that this type of screen will only work with ultra short throw projectors like this one, and ideally you want one with a high lumen output. Lucky for us, the UHZ65UST does. It's also super flat and didn't require any adjustments. Comparing the three, we can see that as expected, both the white screen and the wall look brighter than the ALR screen, but the ALR does offer much better black levels. You can't see it from our camera, but white screens also sometimes have a sparkly effect on very light scenes like clouds or sky areas, especially on bright projectors like this one. And there's none of that on the ALR. It looks much more like watching a TV than a projector. One thing we also notice is that there's significantly less reflection with the ALR screen, so colours were a bit better than on the white screen options. Lastly, if you watch something in a 21:9 format, which most movies are, then the black bars top and bottom are much blacker on the ALR screen, which really helps the contrast of the picture, again getting really close to that of a good TV. So if you have the space and the budget for the huge 100-inch plus screen size, should you choose the UHZ65UST over a TV? In our opinion, yes. It's true that a big TV will be a bit brighter and might offer better inbuilt apps, but for us, nothing trumps screen size and watching movies and playing games on a 100-inch plus screen in glorious 4K just cannot be beaten right now. The UHZ65UST offers all of the benefits that we all want from a projector and pretty much none of the setup challenges that have held people back in the past. Plus, it throws in great sound, all built into one neat box. As for the app support, just buy a Shield TV or another good streaming device, as it'll be better than either the projector or the TV's built-in one anyway. As for what to use with the UHZ65UST, for us, the ALR Screen is the way to go. Hanging it on the wall is really easy as it's not very heavy, and just having it there makes it look like you have a TV on the wall rather than just a big empty space. And for us, the light rejection makes day-to-day usage much more practical. It's not cheap at around £1,200, but considering you'll be spending around £3,300 on the projector, if you have the budget, you might as well get the best from it, as it'll last you a long time. And it's still less than half the price of many 80-inch plus TVs. So let us know what you thought of this video in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more great videos. Thanks for watching.